In today's video, I want to show you how I'm going to be replacing this older corroded sink faucet with this brand new one that I just purchased, as well as replacing the drain up next. And here's the new faucet and drain that I installed. I'm going to be showing how I did this in this video. Be sure to stick around till the end of the video, as we got a brand new puppy at our house, and I'm going to be showing you a preview of our new puppy at the end of this video. My goal of this video is to save you some money. If you're going to have a plumber come out and do this project, it's probably going to cost you several $100s, and honestly, it's not that difficult to do. If you've got some time, I think this is a very easy do-it-yourself project that anybody can do. So I've gone ahead and labeled this thing do not use, because we're going to be working on it. We don't want anybody coming in trying to use it in the meantime. And then I've taken the doors off underneath, and we're going to be working in this bottom area with the plumbing. I'm going to be using these tools here. I've got an adjustable wrench off to the left, and then more of a locking wrench that's going to be on the right. These are going to be really the only tools I'm going to be using for this project. Two other things I'd recommend are a pair of rubber gloves. These are really going to come in handy when we get to the drain portion. And then something to catch water in, because as we are removing any of our piping, there's going to be extra water that's sitting in the water pipes, drain pipes. We're going to want something to catch that. So some sort of a plastic bucket. You probably also want to get yourself a towel. So next, before you start doing any work with the pipes, unscrewing anything, you want to turn off your water. You've got your hot water shutoff valve and your cold water shutoff valve under the sink. I'm just going to go ahead and turn both of those off, and you don't have to go super tight in tightening those. Just kind of start turning them enough where you're going to be able to completely close those valves. So now let's go ahead and go up to the sink. I'm going to just turn these handles on. Actually, that one is already on, and this one let's turn on, just see if there's any extra water left in there. Nothing's coming out, so we are good from that point. We can actually start taking apart the water piping. So from this point, I've got my adjustable wrench on the cold water pipe going up to the faucet, and I'm just going to start loosening that. So if you're ever unsure which way to go, if you're loosening or tightening, you want to imagine that you're looking right at the front on of this particular pipe, and lefty loosey, righty tighty. So counterclockwise, I'm actually going to the left, and I am loosening this up. So you're going to do the same thing and loosen the water line from the hot water as well. Now, right under the faucet, you've actually got these screws that are holding the water line to the faucet itself. If you want to get a wide enough gap where you can get around that screw for your water line, and then go ahead and use those pliers to go ahead, get some leverage, and start turning it, and then go ahead and finish removing that screw. Got my bucket underneath, and now I'm going to remove the water line. Not too much water left because it's all gone. So we can take that out. Now we're going to remove the other line. So once we have the water lines off, from that point there are two more screws that are holding the faucet to the sink. So we're going to go ahead, take our pliers and loosen those up and completely take those rings off as well. So from this point, I can pick up the old faucet. Ooh, yummy. Look at that. Let's set that off to the side. And real quick, as we do in all the videos on this channel, I've hidden Tinker, our little hidden robot, who's going to pop up at some point during this video. Take note of the amount of time into this video that he pops up, and if you're the first person to let me know the correct time down in the comments section below, I will give you a shout out in one of the future videos on this channel, as well as put your name on our Tinker Forward Hall of Fame page. Now we're going to clean up any of this leftover residue from the old faucet. I've got a spray bottle with some water in it, and then just some dish soap, and we're just going to try and apply some water to this area, and then I'm going to add a little bit of soap. You don't want to use any type of metal scraper so you don't scrape this area up, but some sort of plastic scraper works great. Let that kind of soak in a little bit. That cleaned up nice. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the new faucet. So this faucet also has a new gasket that we're going to put on the bottom. And then let's go ahead and place our faucet. And I'm going to secure this faucet using the new lock nuts that came with it. So we want to make sure our faucet is sitting right on top of this flange and that the flange is squared up with the faucet, just so it looks nice and so we don't have any water leaks. From this point, I'm going to be hand tightening these lock nuts and just screwing them on. And from this point, I'm going to hand tighten these different lock nuts so that this secures the faucet. It's kind of a up and down game. You're going to want to tighten these up down here and then jump up top of your sink to make sure that the faucet is looking good. Come back down and tighten a little bit more. And you want to just kind of switch from each one so that you're tightening it all up together. Back up top, I'm just kind of pulling on the faucet. It is nice and secure, so that's not going anywhere, and that looks good. So from this point, I'm going to reinstall my water lines. You can use your existing ones if they're in good condition. Otherwise, you can purchase some new ones. Just go ahead and connect those back up the same way that you removed them. And with my water lines tightened, I'm now going to go ahead and turn my valves back on. And now let's go ahead and, the moment of truth, see if we have some water. Looks like we got cold. Looks like we got hot. So our faucet is now installed. And if this video is helping you out, if you're enjoying it, take a second, smash that like button, as I greatly appreciate it and it helps out this channel. So let's talk about the mistake that I made. So in switching out these faucets, the previous faucet I had actually had a lift rod. So there was a rod behind the actual faucet you could lift up or down, and that would raise or lower the cover for the drain. It indicated with the faucet that it had a pop-up drain. So this is that pop-up drain. Instead of using the lift rod, you would just push it with your fingers. However, you notice this slot that's on the side of this particular drain. This drain is made for sinks with overflow. So overflow is on some sinks, there's going to be a hole on the back of the bowl that allows for, if the sink were to get all the way to the top and if it were plugged and you left the water running, the water would then go down into that hole on the sink, run underneath the bowl of the sink, and then trace back into the drain, trying to not let the water overflow out of your sink. This particular sink does not have that overflow hole, so this drain that came with this faucet is not going to work. They also sell a universal drain, so this is also another pop-up drain. This one's kind of nice. It either has the push pop-up to close it, or it has an umbrella drain where it would always be open. So that's convenient. The other thing that was nice about this one is this works with both sinks that have overflow and sinks without overflow. So moving back under the sink, we're now going to replace this drain. Now this drain is actually this whole piece here, which is going into this P-trap, which is then draining out all the water from the sink. We're going to need to remove this piece. And in order to do that, to slide this out of that P-trap, we're going to have to unscrew this P-trap, remove that. This is where having that bucket is also going to come in handy. There's going to be a whole bunch of water that is trapped in this P-trap. This keeps any type of sewer gas and smells coming from your line that's going down into the sewer from coming back up into your sink. But when we pull this off, all of that is going to drain out. To remove this P-trap, I'm going to remove this nut here and this nut here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clean all this out in just a bit. So we have another nut that is going to be right up at the top underneath the sink bowl. I'm going to loosen that up, and I can kind of do it with my hands. I'm going to use my pliers and just gently give it a pry or two to get it loose, and then from that point I'll finish unscrewing that with my hand. So when I am turning this drain, it looks like it's unscrewing, but it's really just turning. It's attached to the part of the drain that's on the top. This top piece actually comes off of the bottom piece. I need to put something like pliers inside of it and hold it here while I'm turning the bottom to give it some sort of resistance. So I will have one hand on top of the sink holding this pliers in the drain to hold the top so that it will resist while I'm twisting on the bottom. Look at all that nasty stuff. We're going to put that off to the side. Let's see if we can fish the top of that drain out of there. Oh, and then I'm going to take some paper towels, some soap, and we're going to go ahead and clean all this up. So here's a close-up look of the drain I'm going to be installing. This is the tailpipe. This is actually going to unscrew right off. And then there is a sleeve inside this drain that I'm going to leave in because I do not have an overflow sink. So from this point, the bottom here has this nut. Actually, I'll tell you what, for the moment, I'm going to take that sleeve out. Let's take this nut off. And then there are two washers. There's a nylon washer and a rubber washer that are on the bottom of this. I need to take these off. Now I've got my drain itself. There's a rubber gasket right up top. I'm going to leave that up there. And then with this sleeve taken out, you'll notice here's that overflow hole. You want that overflow hole, you'll notice it kind of is on both sides of this. You want it to be lined up with the overflow that is on your sink. So if your overflow is right here coming straight down, this hole is going to line up right here with the center of your sink. So you would put it in like that. So I've got the drain pushed down. I've got one rubber washer on the top. Let's go underneath. So I've got one hand holding the drain, pressing it down into the sink on top. And then with my other hand, I'm going to go ahead and put on that rubber washer, this nylon washer. And then we've got our nut, which I'm just going to start turning so that I can screw this whole drain back onto the sink bowl. So we're going to get that all the way up. When we get to the top, I want to make sure that this washer looks like it's seating in good so we don't have any leaks. And then I'm going to tighten up this top nut. So I don't want to over tighten, but I am going to use my pliers to make sure that this is good and tight and secure to avoid leaks. So from this point, I'm making sure to insert the sleeve. Now, some drains, that are made for no overflow, they're not going to have that sleeve, but this one, because it's universal, has it. And then I'm going to screw on this tailpipe. So I'm going to replace the P-trap, and I notice that it doesn't quite reach the end of this tailpipe. This tailpipe is not the same length as the one on the previous drain. So I actually ran to the hardware store and purchased an extension tube, and I'll see if I can link to something similar down below. If you're having somewhat of the same issue, this has a nut on the top of it, and then it also has a washer. Now you may have this on your existing P-trap. So this washer has a curved side and it has a flat side. This nut is going to go on your tailpipe, and then the flat side of the washer is actually going to go facing up so that the flat side has the nut sit right on top of it. And then I'm going to take my extension pipe, insert it into my P-trap, and then all this is going on this tailpipe so I can attach everything. And now with everything assembled, I have two nuts here that I'm going to fasten, and then I have this nut here so that I can tighten everything up. So I'm ensuring everything is nice and snug. I hand tightened all of these different nuts. So now let's turn on our cold water. Let's turn on our hot water. And we look to be draining good. Let's jump underneath. Here's the real test. Now we are looking for any type of leaks. So looking underneath the bowl of the sink, looking at any of that PVC pipe. If you do see any leaks, make sure you tighten all the different joints up real good. I'm looking down at the bottom. I'm not seeing any water dripping. So we'll do one final test. Let's jump back up to the sink. And then from this point, I'm going to push down the drain. So now our sink is going to start filling with water. And again, this seems to be working good. Let's jump down again. Look for any type of leaks. And I'm not seeing any. Everything seems to be flowing good. We can even release the water that's in the sink and check it one last time. And we seem to be doing great. And that is our sink installation. So I'm interested to know how your faucet and drain installation went. Let me know down in the comments section below. I do videos like this every single week on this channel, including tech reviews and more. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, and you'll never miss any of my future videos. I want to show you guys our brand new puppy, Tinker, who we just got about 2 weeks ago. He's about 12 weeks old. So this is Tinker. Hi, can you say hi to everybody? Hi! Loves running around outside. He's very, very snuggly. He's also tired because he's been running around with my 2 kids all day long. So be sure to subscribe to this channel. You'll probably see Tinker popping up in some more of the videos. I hope this video has helped you out. Lots of other great tutorial and tip videos on this channel. My name is Jeff, and as always, be sure to make every day awesome. I will see you in the next video.